Don't forget to like and subscribe. It's Jim Keller, everybody.
So he says my taters are too big, and then the clouds run off in the other field.
What?
I don't know. Welcome, everyone, to the end of cloud computing.
Yes.
As this is live, how many online services are starting to go down?
So far, Google Cloud is okay, but AWS and Azure apparently are getting hit, maybe getting hit with a botnet, and Cloudflare may be
skipping a beat or two.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's fun times given the AWS outage. Is it last week now?
Yeah, something.
Which and the biggest culprit to that was apparently DNS.
It's always DNS. I need a cup that says it's always DNS. I don't have one of those. I should get one.
I mean, Jeff Geerling has the T-shirt that just says it was DNS. So there's all that. But apparently this outage is a little different, and the platform we use to multi-streamcast this to multiple places at once. You can catch the Tech Poutine on YouTube, or on Twitter, or on LinkedIn, or on Twitch, even, which apparently is against the Twitch terms and conditions for most people. Yeah, it's AWS based. So if we suddenly cut out and yet the stream keeps going, blame AWS. Yeah, no, but this is botnet. This is botnet. Red Flame says it's always DNS except when it's drivers.
No, it's always DNS except when it's BGP.
What's BGP?
BGP is Border Gateway Protocol.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Well, hi everyone. Welcome to a hastily arranged episode of the Tech Poutine. It's been a couple of weeks, almost 3 weeks since our last one.
Yes.
And so much stuff has happened. I went on vacation, so I missed half of it.
Yes.
I turned 40 a little while ago, so I spent a week in Cyprus.
What's funny is I'll be turning 26 at Supercomputing.
Yes.
By the way, if you guys are going to be at Supercomputing, there will be a get-together at Sweetfire Barbecue on the 16th at 6 p.m.
It's one, I am almost 15 years older than George.
And
two,
people have mistaken me as older than
the elder, yes. And two, I only booked my Supercomputing hotel yesterday. Because so Supercomputing is one of those weird events, and for those of you who don't know, it's the biggest HPC event of the year. Usually happens first, second week, or third week of November, just before Thanksgiving. This year it's in St. Louis. For a lot of the attendees, it's their big one event of the year. For me, it's not even the first event that week.
Nor me.
So it's a case of I end up having to book super late because my brain doesn't think that far ahead. I initially saw two choices of hotel. One, that was a few minutes away. This was the Ritz-Carlton, and they wanted 21 grand for the week. Or two, a Marriott by the airport, which is half an hour away by Uber. I eventually, that was about $850, $900 for the week. I eventually found a place only 25, 30 minutes walk away for $1,000. So yeah, it's a 3-star. It is what it is. It might be a Hilton derivative or something. But yeah, that's usually how it goes. I think our time in Denver was the only time I've had a reasonably close hotel for Supercomputing. It's really weird. So yeah, it's going to be a fun event. George and I were saying before the show, it sounds like it's going to be the biggest one ever. Last year was 16,000 people.
Yeah. Well, I was looking at the number of exhibitors, and it's up by 40. I think it's over 550.
Yeah, they keep wanting to increase the exhibitors, and I remember like 3 years ago they were really worried that people would stop coming, so they opened it to quantum. Now there's the quantum village at SC.
Mm-hmm.
It's my co-host at the AI hardware show, Sally Wood Fox, and I. We were in the studio filming some more episodes yesterday, and we came into the discussion: what's more likely to happen to be commercialized first, quantum computing or optical computing? And can
the answer be neither?
No,
answer?
No, because one of them has to be first.
What if neither are first?
Something has to be first, unless they arrive at the same time.
No. They both fail.
Both fail. Can I put in a poll? Start a poll. Which will go commercial first? I can't spell commercial, of course. Quantum computing or optical computing? Let's let that poll run for a little bit. But by commercial, I mean not that you can buy it, because yes, you can buy quantum already. Whether it makes sense for multiple companies to start raking in the billions of dollars. Yeah.
Red Flame says in chat, George, are you saying that they've been 5 years away for the last 20 years? It's just like fusion. Fusion's just 10 years away for the last 40 years.
Don't get me wrong, I'm a lot more up to date on the quantum market than I am the optical market. And the more I look into the optical market, the more I realize that people have difficulty with standards. And there are things like thin film lithium niobate, which apparently in that industry is called Tiflin. So, yeah, there's a lot going on either way. I'm honest. Sally said optical. I think I'm more in the quantum camp.
If I was to put a bet on it, I would say quantum hesitantly, but frankly, neither.
Well, the thing is, they're both analog, really.
Yeah, and I'm not a big I'm not a big like analog computing supporter. Like, I don't see it, but I guess that's just me.
George is anti-analog.
No.
It's transistors are optical. Sorry, transistors are analog.
Yes.
We just think about them as binary. It's digital. Tweedle asks, what do you specifically mean optical compute? I mean a CPU that is computing with photons.
So like Light Solver or
Lightelligence or
yes.
NVIS. Whether you're doing it whether you're doing it with phase modulation or amplitude modulation, and then doing matrix multiplies or additions with light. Yes. Zook says 5.2, well, 0.52. It's not an integer. No, but it's a rational number.
So apparently, what's going on the internet right now is not likely isn't DDoS related. Microsoft may have typoed their ASN off the internet.
For God's sake. Microsoft.
So their entire network just became completely unroutable. Oh, this is peak funny.
And this is why people don't like Linux. Because you mistype a character and your install is buggered. on at command line anyway.
So speaking of Linux, something the reason why I have this nice big cup of coffee, which for you Brits is about a pint, is because I was finishing up ML testing on this. So
What's Strix Halo?
yes, actually, we're gonna have at least 4 articles on Strix Halo almost in a row. So
Mine arrived the 26th of August. My framework desktop. I have not been home long enough with a long enough period of time to even take it out of its box. Though my cat did stand on my power button yesterday and my UPS decided to fail this morning. So who knows? Who knows? Let's get into actually starting a tech poutine, because this is what we're here to do. Lots of crazy stuff going on. So hi everyone, and welcome to the Tech Poutine, the podcast where we usually talk about processors and silicon and how we teach special rocks to think in very special ways. We're called the Tech Poutine because I'm a potato and next to me is the cheese. If we had a guest, there'd be the gravy, thus making a lovely Tech Poutine. Also, if we had a sponsor, here's where we might put it. If you do wish to sponsor the show, do let us know. We do accept and read all super chats made by our listeners and watchers, but only if they don't demonetize the channel. The show usually lasts a good couple of hours, sometimes more, but stick around and we'll get to some Q&A. But for today's first question is to George. How you doing?
well, like I said, I was up all last night doing testing. So after this, I'll probably crash.
It's I was in I rent a recording studio in East London every now and again. Booked it for 7 hours yesterday. Got a number of episodes done. Got a number of ad reads done as well. We've got some ads coming on the channel. As in mid rolls. It's been so long since we've had a mid roll on the channel. It turns out sponsors prefer dedicated videos. So we've got a mix of that as well. And we finished recording the AI hardware show. Woo! And
Nice.
now we've just got 30 episodes to edit.
So yeah, but in this episode,
yes, but in this episode,
well, in Top Gear style, in this episode, AMD wins. AMD and Nvidia win supercomputing contracts.
George choose a chocolate bar. Ian decides it's not a Mercedes, and Gravy just doesn't show up.
Yes.
Yeah, it's because it's been a few weeks. There is a lot of news to get through. I mean, and not just AWS and cloud services failing. The first off is you get a supercomputer, and you get a supercomputer, and you get a supercomputer, and you get a supercomputer. Ahead of all financials happening over the next couple of weeks and all of supercomputing, it turns out the government has money to spend on AI. So this week has also been GTC Washington DC, which was interesting because there's a government shutdown right now, and I was interested what the attendance would be like if the government is shut down. It turns out it's not been too bad actually, and everybody's talking about lots of announcements. This is also a chance for everybody to say to the administration, we're spending in the US on US businesses. Excuse me.
There was a lot of that in the Jensen talk from what I skimmed.
Yeah, Jensen also used a picture of Intel's 18A to represent Coolith, though. So
Yeah.
it's take of that what you will. Let me bring up the first of our. Let's bring it down here. This is the first one. AMD powers 2 US AI factories. And it's weird. Nvidia came up with the term AI factory to mean big AI token generating plant. But it turns out AMD gets the first one in the US for the US government. So Nvidia may have just lost the claim to the name AI factory.
Interesting.
So
I'm apparently completely covered by chat.
Okay. Well, annoyingly, this system we can't move chat, so I have to turn off chat to see George. Actually, turn chat on again, and let's see if I can move George. Actually, turn off, move George. Here we go, and save it. Update that layout.
There we go.
There we go. Yeah. Yeah. So the first one is Lux. Lux is a unit of light, of course. How about AMD hosed it will be hosed when it's done. Housed at Oak Ridge, and will be the first dedicated US AI factory for early 26.
So
that would mean they've started deployment already.
So actually, what I've been told is that this is actually a joint ownership between AMD, HPE, the DOE, and Oracle.
So one day it could be doing nuclear simulation. The next day it could be running tokens for OpenAI.
Yeah.
That would might that also mean that some of the 6 gigawatts that OpenAI signed, if Oracle uses it for OpenAI, this could count towards those 6 gigawatts.
Now, what's interesting is that is only Lux. Discovery is fully owned by the DOE.
So I might have to let me change this window a little bit. It's weird.
So, Tweedle says AMD has more supercomputers than anyone on Earth, I think, right? No, AMD has the most flops on the top 500, but in terms of sheer number of accelerators in supercomputers, that's still Nvidia.
Yeah, and technically Intel has the most if you counting just who has hardware in it.
Yeah.
Intel's still highest. So we have Discovery. And then together, this is part of the AI action plan that came out a few months ago. Lux and Discovery combined is $1 billion from private and public funding. And this is a conversation we've had in HPC for a little bit, right? It always used to be that HPC always spent the big bucks on big deployments. But now that's pivoted so heavily towards AI, they become a follower, not a leader in the technology, right? So this means that in order to get big systems to do big science work, there has to be some private partnership. And that's what Oracle comes in, I guess. Quote here from Lisa. Lux will be running AMD Instinct's 355X. That means it must be the biggest 355X deployment, because I've been hearing that 355X hasn't been selling that well, but that's because people are waiting for 450.
So, to address a point that you made earlier, Elad in chat says usually nuclear sims are on separate air-gapped supercomputers, though it might do medical, biological, and radiological sims. Yeah, usually those those systems are usually completely air-gapped.
I mean, that's fair. The one interesting thing here is it's going to be using Pensando.
That's not that surprising. These
Really?
are likely fairly standard off-the-shelf design.
Yeah.
8 UBB standard server designs.
Well, it's HP. It's not Cray, is it?
It's HPE Cray. Cray is just a division of HPE. Now, the interesting one here is, for me personally, is Discovery. The Discovery supercomputer deepens the collaboration between the DOE, Oak Ridge National Labs, HPE, and AMD. At the heart of Discovery are next-gen AMD EPYC CPUs, codenamed Venice, and the AMD MI430X GPUs, a new MI400 series accelerator engineered specifically for sovereign AI and scientific computing.
Which means it's got 64-bit.
So this will be the first. This is the first sort of announcement of an MI 430. There's been speculation that this has been going on, that this is the successor to the MI300A. And I will say I'm a little bit disappointed that it's not an MI400A. I would like to have seen that. But my guess is that this is actually likely using a very similar like blade design to what we see in AMD's Helios. So 4 GPUs, 1 CPU, and then NICs, but no scale up due to that not being
So well, I mean, it's the fact that they say for HPC. I mean, yes, there is some effort in some aspects of HPC to try and emulate 64-bit in 8-bit. It's called a Zaki scheme, and chances are there will be more presentations about it at Supercomputing. But the adoption of that is slow and difficult. I even wrote a script and recorded a video on it, but then I just didn't like how I explained it, so I canned that video. No, don't get it wrong. It makes sense. If Nvidia is not going to do 64-bit anymore for HPC, somebody else has to. The thing is, it's just not, when you compare markets. I think later in the episode we'll start talking about Next Silicon, because they're launching their 64-bit HPC chip later. There is a market out there if you want to go for it. It's just sometimes it's a little bit slow.
So Jay in chat says, what does the ASIC signify? That signifies APU, or a CPU and GPU in the same package. The X SKUs are accelerated. Well, I shouldn't say GPU. There's no display out on these devices. It's the accelerator and the CPUs are all on one package, traditionally sharing the same memory pool. The X SKUs are accelerator only SKUs, and the C SKUs, which were Azure exclusive, are CPU only SKUs. And Elad says in chat, Ponte Vecchio was a 64-bit beast and was designed for it. Ponte Vecchio was a mess. We'll talk more about what Argonne National is doing in just a second. But
sorry, white. No, I'm trying to sort something out, and it's not working the way I thought it would.
But yeah, Ponte Vecchio was not as good as was hoped. And Tweedle also in chat says, AMD hasn't released any MI400 series info yet. No, they released information about MI400 back at Advancing AI in June.
Yeah.
So, and Dom in chat says, I don't think AMD has any PCIe MI300 series of cards. Yeah, it's all OAM or SH5 socket, which is a slight derivative off of the SP5 socket that Turin and Genoa use.
It was 48 and 96 CPUs.
Yes.
Plus and this plus HBM. I'm going to say 3 quadrants of GPU.
That's fine.
Even though technically it's like
it's 6 chiplets, but nah.
So I mean, Jay, that's how it's configured.
Yes.
Right. If you're wondering, so A went into a few supercomputers.
Yeah.
C,
the big one.
Yeah, El Capitan. That was number 2 on the top 500.
No, that's number 1. That's number one on all of them.
Okay.
Right now.
MI300C is the all CPU version that was thought to be canned, but then came out in one particular Azure instance.
Yes, the HP V5 instance, which is a HPC focused VM. That's also why there's no Turin X, was because Microsoft, which was the biggest deployer of the X SKUs, which are the server CPUs with Vcache. The reason why there's no Turin with Vcache is because instead of Turin with Vcache, Azure decided to go with MI300C for their HPC VMs.
And then the 300X is just all the AI accelerators. The 300, 325, 350, 355.
350 and 355 are a separate thing, but 300 and 325 are.
Yeah. And then after that, we've got, so for next gen, we now know that there's a 340X, an AMD MI450X, and an AMD MI455X.
I don't think they've announced a 55.
Are they not? Is it just
just 50? But we do know that the MI450, in terms of specs, has 19.6 terabytes per second of bandwidth, 432 gigabytes of HBM. I think it's 4. I think it's HBM4.
Yeah.
And then you would have to go do the calculations on the flops numbers, but 432 gigabytes. Not
432.
Yeah. Because it's likely 12 stacks of HBM.
Yeah. Solid Reactor asks, is the MI300C like Zen using HBM as Vcache? No, it's still connected outside of the compute, but you can also have DRAM beyond that. You don't have to have it, but you can.
So, the MI300 series is you can kind of think of it as second gen Vcache in a way, where you have the the Zen chiplet stacked on top of a base die. There are 4 base dies for a total of 256 megabytes of mall or infinity cache that then connects out to the HBM. That's how that is architected.
So 1, it has lots of cache, and 2, if you want to buy it, you need lots of cache.
Yes.
So,
but
yeah.
going back to the Discovery system real quick.
Yeah, I'll go.
This is a new Cray platform, the GX5000 platform. Now, what's interesting here is if you go, I think it says it in here. If it doesn't, I know it's in some.
Yeah, it does.
Well, in some one of the press releases, it says that they're using Slingshot switches. Now,
the network.
Now, here's the thing about Slingshot. Slingshot is both, well, it's 3 things. Slingshot is a switch. Slingshot is also a NIC. But it's also a protocol. Now, the Slingshot Ethernet protocol, you can kind of think of it as Ultra Ethernet version 0.5. It was a cut down version of Ethernet for lower latency and designed for HPC. Now, what do you want to bet that the new Slingshot switches won't actually be Slingshot Ethernet, but instead just be Ultra Ethernet? And that they'll use Passando NICs in the GX5000 for Discovery.
I will say, it's worth noting here. So we said Lux was going to be starting early 26. Discovery is 28.
Yes.
So we might be on Zen 7 by then.
Well, the thing is that they are saying
MI500.
So if you don't know how DOE contracts work, they put out a public sort of tender, and you can go read what the specs are. The specs for this system is 5 to 8x the LIN pack of Frontier, which potentially means that this could be a 10 exaflop machine, maybe. It would be cool if it is. Unlikely, though. And when I say exaflop, I mean FP-64.
Now, once HPC Wire trusts that I'm human, I think with all the internet going down,
yeah,
that might be
relevant right now.
Yeah. So this is the Nvidia announcements.
Yes, Nvidia announced 7 supercomputers, although
how you
kind
define
of
a supercomputer.
in the same way that Lux is. This some of these are co-owners, like co-ownership models. Kind of odd, but
yeah. It's so largest will be Solstice, 100,000 Nvidia Blackwell GPUs, more than twice the number of accelerators of El Capitan. Now, is this counting Blackwell as 2 GPUs or 1?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Because that's what they're doing now.
Here's the thing. Okay. Making the new system one of the largest GPU. If this was 10,000 GPUs, Nvidia would be screaming from the high heavens that this was the single largest GPU ever built. Yada yada yada.
Well, that's one of the other supercomputers.
Well, no, Aurora has 60.
System.
Here's the thing: Aurora has over 60,000 GPUs. So maybe this is merely 50,000 Blackwell packages, may I say.
Yes.
Blackwell packages. Let's go by the Nvidia naming scheme.
Jensen Math.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jensen Math is back. Yeah,
Did it ever truly go away?
and 2200 exaflops, so 2.2 yottaflops.
Yeah, of what kind of flops, to quote a good friend of ours?
Sparse MX FP4, of course.
Of course.
Or yeah. So
22000.
Again, Oracle's being involved in this.
Wait, hold on. What? Okay, that doesn't. Okay. If that is FP4 sparse, then that only comes up to about 15,000 GPUs.
This is the 10,000 GPU one.
No. For
they both together will be 2200. Ask Jensen. Oh, ask Nvidia. Supercomputing's in 3 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, I probably will.
Yeah. Oh yeah, maybe it's FP 1.58.
No, it would have to be higher. Like this would have to be like FP 16.
Yeah. Well, no, because then they'd say it's full
rate AI.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are we gonna get a Jensen Math T-shirt?
Yeah, and I'll be even more persona non grata at Nvidia.
I'm pretty sure persona non grata be like adjacent.
I'll get Charlie from Semi Accurate to wear it.
Oh, he would go to
yeah. So Argonne, aside from those 2 previous systems, are getting 3 more called Tara, Minerva, and Janus. So we're just going through the children of Zeus now.
Yeah.
And these will be HPE. Worldwide technology is, it's like a Evidon or a Atos system deployment. AI inference. Tara will be targeted at AI HPC. Minerva will be scientific workloads, and Janus will serve as workforce training and research. The thing is, NVIDIA's had a history of this, or at least NVIDIA's partners, is you get a big system, say it's 6 racks.
Yeah.
You make these 4 racks a supercomputer, then you make these 4 racks a supercomputer, then you make these 4 racks a supercomputer, even though most of the racks are shared.
Yeah.
And then
that's what this sounds like. It's one supercomputer realistically that's being split up 3 ways.
Yeah. Except you can get more results on the top 500.
Yeah.
And what is Jay saying? Worldwide technology.
Is worldwide technology? Why did you die to you?
Yeah. So, I'm trying to read this, but I have my cat in front of the display. And then we have Mission and Vision at Los Alamos.
So, Mission is the replacement for what is known as Crossroads, which is a Sapphire Rapids Max system. The Sapphire Max SKUs have HBM on board, or CR. Have HBM on board.
Wait, hang on. How old is that system? 3 years?
It was brought up in 2023. Late 23. It's being replaced very quickly.
Well, if they're getting rid of some CPU maxes, I'm sure I can use them.
Yeah.
It's And then we've got a Vision here. Will be the replacement of Venando. Oh no, sorry, built on the success of Venando and use the same architecture
as Mission. So as deploying a similar Yeah.
So both mission and vision will be Vera Rubins connected with InfiniBand. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we've
So
quotes from Trish.
essentially, to me, basically, NVIDIA got a lot of smaller supercomputers. Smaller. These are still large.
Well, one of
and
them is
then NVIDIA got
100,000.
the big. Let's go for many exascales in FP64.
Yeah. And speaking along similar lines, NVIDIA also had 2 announcements because they're getting GTC DC.
Okay, this.
Can I get rid of this sidebar?
No, you can't.
Oh, for God's sake.
At
NVIDIA,
least if you
I'm trying
scroll
to
up
share
to the
some.
top, if you scroll up to the top of that bar, the next data sheet is the top one. Oh, there we go.
No, it's God's
okay.
sake. Thank you for not making a usable system. Like all it needs is an X here.
Yeah, or like a push-in thing.
Yeah. No.
Anyway,
it's the news
NVIDIA
site.
announced the ConnectX-9 SuperNIC along with the Bluefield 4.
Well,
GPU.
let's start with ConnectX.
But yes, ConnectX-9 is a monolithic piece of silicon. This is really more a CX8 plus. The total bandwidth has not changed between the CX8 and the CX9. It's still 800 gig total bandwidth. And that's gigabit, not gigabyte. So that's 100 gigabytes per second of total bandwidth. But with ConnectX-9, it now supports Ethernet up to 800G. So
it says here ConnectX-9 is actually 2 800 gig for a 1.6 total.
That's not what it says on the side. It says total bandwidth 800G.
Yeah.
Hey, if anyone from NVIDIA is listening, could you maybe figure out?
It might be here the fact that it says SuperNICs.
Oh.
So you can connect 2 of these to a Rubin for 1.6 terabits per second, but otherwise it's 800.
Okay. Or they could be doing it's 800 out, 800 in.
Oh, Jensen math.
Yeah, it's more Jensen math. But yeah, this is not a major this is not a generational improvement over CX8. This is just a sort of an incremental improvement, specifically with regards to 200G running Ethernet over 200G SerDes. And alongside the CX9, which is just a standard network interface card, comes the Bluefield 4.
Now, we haven't finished ConnectX-9 yet. There's still more to talk about.
I mean,
PCIe 6.
Same like CX8.
Yeah, PCIe 6 up to 48 lanes.
Yeah, that's so that it can, if you remember the MGX platform with the server, the regular sort of server GB202, the GDDR cards that were ate into a system, and then they had the 4 ConnectX 8s all together. Yeah, that's what this is. That's what that's for. It's so that it can act as its own switch.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Because this is probably 3 lots of 16. And then here we have a quad card for Vera Rubin NVL144.
Yes. The dual ports are only 400G though. One port, single port is up to 800G.
Yeah. Yep. Spectrum X, nickel. When's the timing for this?
26.
Early, late?
I presume that this is probably going to be H2 26.
Okay.
So
then we move on to Bluefield.
Now, this I just do not understand in the slightest. So, Bluefield, for those who don't know, is NVIDIA's series of DPUs, or data processing units. What this is designed to do is to improve, is basically to act as your front-end network. So everything that connects to like, so that you can connect your big Vera Rubin up to storage or out to like basically storage, and act as your front-end controller for your big system.
It provides some processing power at the networking layer.
Yes.
And so that processing power could do some light work. It could do some data manipulation. It could do security. And the key here is it has 64 ARM Neoverse V2 cores.
Here's the thing about it, okay? And this is what I don't understand. Why? So I've been fairly reliably informed that this is actually connected not over the NVLink C2C bridge that Grace has, but actually is connected via 32 PCIe 5.0 lanes to the Grace. Because this is actually reusing the same Grace CPU that is found in Grace Hopper and Grace Blackwell.
It's so previous Bluefield have been just monolithic pieces of custom silicon.
Yes.
So this they're combining ConnectX-9, which is on the right here, with Grace.
Yes.
And it's all in one package, and obviously you can clock Grace down to quite low, and so you get an overall package. And you can see there's some LPDDR here as well.
Yes. So it's I'm pretty sure it's a 256-bit LPDDR5 bus. Right. And 128 gigabytes of memory there.
So to be honest, one reason why it not be using NVLink is because it doesn't need to. NVLink is a much harder thing to implement as a chip-to-chip interconnect, as we're seeing MediaTek with GB10 trying to work it out. So just by having it as 32 lanes of PCIe 5, everybody knows how to do PCIe 5.
Well, here's the really interesting. Look at the host interface.
It's a Gen 6 by 16.
So what that tells me is that the host interface is actually running off the CX9.
CX9. Yeah.
Not off the Grace, which is odd.
That will add latency. Yeah, because the data will have to go in through and around, which means these are got to be high powered. Does it make sense that Bluefield 4 is actually just designed for a particular customer in mind?
Considering that this is going into NVL 144s, not really. Like the customer for at least that specific form factor that you see on screen now is NVIDIA themselves.
Or maybe they thought the trade-off in the design for their performance modeling just wasn't worth it.
I don't see, like, why would you, like the prior generation of CXs and Bluefield, like CX, I believe it was CX, Bluefield 3 and CX7, I believe were the same, essentially the same silicon. Just if you bought the SuperNIC, it just, the ARM cores on board were just turned off.
What's NVIDIA Socket Direct?
Oh, that's
Mellanox socket direct adapters eliminate traffic bottlenecks, allowing direct PCIe access to multiple CPUs. Oh, okay. So it's their version of Amazon's networking.
yeah. Well, it's multi-tenant. Is what it is. Jay, thanks for the $5. He says in chat, what exactly is the point of DPUs in a world where CPU cycles are not like scarce at all? There's a lot of very nice offload on DPUs.
It also removes the power away from the CPU, so you're cooling things differently, and you're providing extra power to the CPU or the GPU when you need it. Latency is also another thing. So you don't have to send your data round trip. If you get a packet into your DPU, you can do something with it and send it back without needing to go to the CPU. Things like CRC checks, things like error correction. I remember back when Intel acquired Bigfoot and they had like the Tofino 2 network switches. The idea that these are going to be fully programmable network switches so you can do compute in your network. They folded that division because it turns out people wanted smart NICs, not smart switches. And a DPU is meant to essentially be the smart NIC on steroids. So, it's imagine you're a cloud provider like AWS, and you have a CPU, and you can have 64 tenants on that CPU, but only if you have the DPU. If you don't have the DPU, you need to partition 4 of those cores off to do DPU tasks. And now your core resource, the CPU, you can't fit as many people on it. Therefore, you're not making as much money out of that CPU as you could with a DPU. So it's optimization of TCO resources. In HPC, DPUs don't get much of a unless it's to do with like smart routing and congestion. So a DPU with Samsung's in-memory processing is a thing. Samsung's in-memory processing is mostly with mostly on FPGAs right now. Yeah, Xilinx FPGAs.
So,
are you happy there?
We have a kitty appearance.
Yep, which means it's food time. So, yeah. So that's Bluefield. George got really annoyed with that. I think it's a reuse of chiplets, and they've just got chiplets to spare. Great cat, you're on my control key. I can't scroll. I can only zoom in and out of my notes. Should we? Yes. Let's. Let me head over to Yahoo Nvidia.
Oh, this.
No, you're still got your butt on control. I can't even type. Kitty, you've taken control.
Welcome to the Tech Poutine, everybody. We are consummate professionals here.
So let's share this tab. We'll see it. Yep, got it. So this is the stock price of Nvidia, up 3% today. Yeah. The key line is here. Market cap. This is the value of the company as determined by number of shares outstanding, which means
by the share price.
Yes. Nvidia is now the first $5 trillion company in not necessarily in history, because by some reports, companies like the East India Trading Company, or even I believe one of the chariot racers in ancient Rome, was apparently their equivalent of Bill Gates on steroids. So in terms of modern financial accounting, they are the first $5 trillion company.
Wait, I want to see. Yes, but how much was it?
Are you looking at East India Trading Company?
No, that's 1, 2, 3. Okay, so the South Sea Company, which was one of the most valuable company, considered the third most valuable company in history, what in 1720 was worth, in today's money, about $4 trillion. And that was a complete scam of a company. It never made money. World's largest Ponzi scheme.
And some people are saying OpenAI is getting that way. But yeah, 5 trillion. So I think the question to ask is it time to buy Nvidia? Only if you have an account. What was the thing today that's causing it to go up? You said everybody.
There was analyst
updates
calls.
Okay. So if you'd have put in $1 5 years ago into Nvidia,
yeah,
you'd have $1,500 now. Okay, so the analyst recommendations, if you scroll down on Yahoo, you get to this. Analyst recommendations. Currently, we have 10 saying it's a strong buy, 49 saying it's a buy. And do we have any sells?
No.
You know, Bernstein outperform, buy, strong buy. Some are saying that it's overweight. Yeah, okay. So we had the Bank of America, Cantor Fitzgerald, and UBS all had updates to their Nvidia today. Yeah, the price targets and highs and all this stuff, I have no real idea what it means. For people wondering, AMD's up 1% today, Intel's flat, Qualcomm's flat. Broadcom is up 1%, TSMC is up 1%. Caterpillar is up 12%, Bitcoin is down almost 4%. Fiserv is down 41%, whatever that is.
Well, since we're about an hour in, do you want to do the mid-roll ad or mid-roll sponsor spot?
Yeah. Well, it's okay. So let's I'll go back to our regular programming. Yeah, that one. Well, so we're going to take a minute here to tell you about sponsors and the ways you can support us. But as this video has no sponsor, you get a couple of minutes of George and I talking about the best ways you can support what we do. The easiest way is simply to subscribe, either to this channel or the Chips and Cheese YouTube channel. There are links in the video description. If you're really interested, hit that notification bell so you're notified of all our uploads right when they land. I don't know about you, George, but I've got about 2 dozen videos plus AI hardware show in the mix. If you're a fan of written content, then we do also have our written publications. I focus more on the business side of the industry, while George and his team do some hardcore microarchitecture testing. Another way to support the channel is in goodies. I still run my TechTechPotato shop, which isn't showing up, but shop.techtechpotato.com. And it looks like we need a hashtag Jensen Math t-shirt and mug in there. Yeah, newest range of mug stickers and all with this. Yeah, we've shown off this keynote could have been an email and Yilawad Dice Lace t-shirts recently. Everything you buy helps me feed George at Supercomputing, our next tech event. my day job is a consultant for the tech industry. So if you are an investor or a fund looking for some analysis or advice, then please do reach out to all the usual places. When are you going to get a merch store, George?
When I have a moment to sit down.
So I visited a company a few weeks ago, and they gave me a branded bottle of wine. They'd partnered with a winery in Napa, and
Fancy.
I'm not a wine drinker. I don't know if this is a $5 bottle of wine or a $50 bottle of wine. What I'm saying is, you need to call up Tillamook.
Yes. That genius. Actually, so speaking of cheese, I just found I was recommended a cheese by a friend called Humboldt Fog from Cypress Grove. Even though goat cheese is not my favorite, pretty good.
I have just had an amazing new T-shirt idea.
Oh no! Oh boy! What's your idea?
Give me a couple of minutes, and I'll see if anything comes back interesting.
So,
but yes. So also, I've been eating cheese this past week. Because I went to Cyprus. Because I don't eat cheese, right? I'm not a fan. I will eat it on pizza, but because I was in Cyprus, I ate my body weight in halloumi, which some people don't think is
cheese.
It's rubberized fun, especially when you grill it. I'm not convinced on honey, halloumi and honey, but also apparently it can only be called halloumi if it's made in Cyprus. Otherwise, it's got to be called Cypriot grilling cheese.
Interesting.
It's like champagne is only champagne.
Yeah.
Champagne.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's sparkling headache in a bottle. So
Zeus says, "It's okay, Ian. I'm not a fan of cheese, capital C either. You would be. You would be."
Okay, I have my T-shirt idea. Do you want to see it?
Oh boy. Yeah, let's.
No, sorry, I've got to remove this one and then add this one. Can you see?
That's funny.
I would wear that. I would wear that. Yes. So, okay, cool. I'll put that in. So we have a number of other secondary topics to talk about this week. George, take your pick.
Oh, I'm thinking topic number 2.
Okay. Do you want to give some background?
So, there has always been people in the tech industry that have claimed to provide the moon on a stick, right? To provide to be the end all and be all and beat everything else at everybody's game. And this company, who you may or may not have heard of, which Ian and I have both covered, this company's name is Tachyum. This company has been touting to give you the moon on a stick since they showed their architecture at Hot Chips 2020. Sorry, Hot Chips 2018. So over 7 years ago. They say that they can beat x86 and GPUs and be an NPU and do all this fancy, lovely stuff.
So the CEO has had a lot of success in his career. He was involved in Sandforce. He's had a few other startups that have been successful. And when they did their first announcement, again, promising the world, but the cores seemed very underpowered for what they did. And then they had some issues. They went ahead and sued Cadence.
So
And
prior
blamed-
to the lawsuit, they changed their
Oh, sorry.
architecture. They abandoned VLIW,
Gen 1.
which is their Gen 1. VLIW, or very long instruction word, similar to Itanium. They abandoned this for a more standard, out-of-order CPU core.
They also beefed up the main criticisms of the cores that we had at the time.
Yeah. And then they sued Cadence.
They blamed Cadence for a 2-year delay in their chip. Because they were using Cadence EDA and Cadence IP. And they kept having problems implementing Cadence IP in their design. Their argument was that the CEO of Cadence at the time, Lip Bhutan, was chairman on at least one company who would be their major competitor. In this case, I think it was Samba Nova. Or he was a member of the board. So their argument was, you're being malicious on purpose to delay our design. Of course, Cadence said, see you in court. And they settled out of court. Tachyum also said that because of this delay, the European research supercomputers that they were supposed to be bidding on, they couldn't. And therefore, this was lost business. This was another one of their arguments in the lawsuit. And so they settled out of court. Tachyum moved to Synopsys. No issues. And since then, Tachyum have been showing up to events with a very small booth with 2 to 3 salespeople and a catalog about that thick. Do you have it to hand?
I don't. I was trying to find it before this live stream, but I don't have it at hand at the moment.
It's I don't know if I can see mine because it's been so long since I went over there to look for it. But yes, essentially this is how they see the industry in 400 pages. And but what they were saying in their press releases is that they have FPA development platforms for their design. And they've shown images, but not actually shown them working. And their argument has been, well, customers have them, and they're the ones who matter. And, you know, it's been like that for 2 years. No adjustments have been made on top of any of the views we've seen. Now, the company to that date, had raised $70 million in a Series B. So still technically a startup, even though it'd been going on for 7 years. And this is the news we had 2 weeks ago now.
Yeah.
Let me scroll up. Tachyum announces it has a Series C funding round of $220 million. So this is their biggest funding round. It brings them up to roughly 300. And Series C is one singular investor. It says here a European investor who has also signed a $500 million purchase order. Now, one can argue what they actually signed was a $720 million purchase order, but 220 of that is part ownership of the company, right? Still with Prodigy, though obviously this is Gen 2 or maybe even Gen 3 at this point, we don't know, which will increase AI performance by an order of magnitude and reduce cost by 2 orders of magnitude. The thing is, so they say buy a European investor. Then they say the lead investor from the US. Wait, I thought they were European. Anyway.
¿Por qué no los dos?
So the lead investor can't be from the US if they're European, and this is the biggest funding round they had, and it's only one funder.
Yeah. The thing is,
unless they're talking about, and I've just realized this, the individual who runs the European investment fund or the European customer. And what they're saying is the individual who is the lead investor took a semiconductor company public last year in the US with a valuation of nearly $1 billion. Who that is, not sure.
So,
because there are lots of
hunting. I think the investor, if my speculation is correct, is actually Fidelity Investments.
Okay.
Which
I was going to say they haven't mentioned who the investor is in this.
Based on that plus the SPAC, it lines up too well.
So do you know what these companies are? Who these companies are?
The first company was, oh crap, who IPO? What was the big IPO last year? My brain's completely farting on me.
The reason why I had issue with this is because semiconductor company could be a tooling company.
No,
supply chain company.
It was one of the. It was. What company? What were the major, like, design firm companies that, like, not design firm.
GUC, Alchip.
No. Oh, it was Astera.
Astera for $1 billion?
Astera raised 800 million or 800 billion. Sorry, 800 million at the IPO at a 5.5 billion evaluation.
Okay.
Which I wonder if they made a mistake in the press release, because that's the only big IPO that would make any sense.
Well, this is why I'm saying it could be semiconductor fab tools. It could be semiconductor supply chain substrates.
The thing is that there
lasers.
weren't a ton of IPOs last year in the semiconductor space.
It might not have been an IPO to the US. It might be an IPO.
I mean,
in
lead
Singapore.
investor to the US took company public. That usually happens in the US.
No, a lead investor from the, like I say, it says here European. So the lead investor from the US may only be of US nationality.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
You know what? Maybe I will take back what I said. I know nothing.
And also a SPAC for several billion. And that SPAC doesn't state it's in semiconductors.
No.
So the other interesting thing here is
the thing
this
is
sentence.
that you can't lie about the C series rates. Like that has to be real. The 220 million has to be real.
Yes. Or like I say, it's an equity purchase based on it's equity based on a purchase. And the thing is this a purchase order or is this a MOU based on concept demos? And they're just calling it a purchase order, because some companies do that. They say, oh, we have a run rate to $1 billion of revenue. Yeah, but it's with 20 customers and they all are waiting for their demo systems to actually get the results they want. Otherwise, they'll pull out. But no, this part of the sentence is what Sally picked up on yesterday when we were filming this. Was weird.
Yeah.
Why would you say to be wired into Tachyum's account within a month? That is a phrase that you use very specifically to target a very specific sort of person who might come around and break your kneecaps.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes. It sounds, yeah. It sounds like Tachyum took money from the mafia. The mafia is now calling and they had to scrounge up the money. Like,
yeah. As in, they got bills to pay, yo.
Yeah.
So Tachyum is poised to revolutionize AI data centers by solving the most challenging barriers to AI and expects that this Series C will propel the company to an IPO. Excuse me.
Now, mind you, so I know that this is Tom's Hardware, but Anton actually did a really good write-up about this and actually got from Tachyum that they haven't finalized their design yet.
Well, this is why I highlight this paragraph. So, yeah, so I fully expect that the last time we spoke to Rado and the team, it's the chips very different now. Partly because you have to put orders in for things like HBM early and GDDR earlier. But also, Series C closing as outlined, Tachyum will be able to finalize the tape out and process and schedule. So they haven't had the funding to tape out. Which makes me wonder, why didn't they go knock on Broadcom's door?
Why Broadcom?
Or Alchip?
Oh, I know what you mean. Okay. Or Marvell, or one of them.
Or hey, even AMD, or MediaTek, or now Intel, right?
I mean, they're already shipping AMD products.
So...
But they're claiming like 256 cores at 5.7 gigahertz,
900 watts,
and over 1,000 watts, and
no, but that was the Prodigy we saw a couple of years ago.
No, that's the current one on there. The one that we saw a couple of years ago was 128 cores, and then it got upgraded to 192 cores, and now it's at 256 cores.
Yeah. It does say that they've opened offices in Taiwan.
Yeah, that followed this announcement.
Yeah. So, each chiplet in the package integrates 256 high-performance custom 64-bit cores.
Yeah. Notice chiplet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we kind of knew that already.
Well, okay. Yes, but also, with what memory bandwidth are you going to be feeding this with?
At least 2 bits.
Yeah.
Or maybe like they're like Euclid and have a new custom memory architecture.
My rear end.
So
yeah. So Jay in
a
chat
nutshell
said earlier in the chat that Tachyum is the great white whale to George's Ahab. Yes.
So this is the Tachyum.
Yep.
Now this came across our desk unexpectedly.
Yeah.
Qualcomm. Now, Qualcomm had already announced that it was going back into the data center business with its Orion core and a large agreement with Saudi-based company Humane. It also announced it was going to be part of the NVLink Fusion ecosystem with Nvidia. The problem was, everybody said at the time, well, hang on, that's CPU. You don't have an AI accelerator. You have the AI100, but that's 7 years old, and who's using it these days? So Qualcomm, about an hour before they had to go into their quiet period before earnings, published this. Qualcomm unveils AI200 and AI250, redefining rack-scale data center inference performance for the AI era. And in the email, in the box folder, they sent this image, which was 173 megabytes.
That's impressive, actually.
The whole zip file folder was 175 megabytes. So what's here? The headline is, I mean, to be honest, we don't need to read through this because I can memorize it off the top of my head. So AI200 and AI250 are racks of their next AI inference accelerator using hexagon NPU architecture with up to 768 gigabytes of LPDDR
per card.
And we don't know how many chips are on a card.
Accelerators are on a card. Yep.
And a rack will be rated to 160 kilowatts. And the focus is extreme TCO.
So what I'm wondering, because...
And that's it.
Well,
that's pretty much all we know.
Well, there's two more things.
Okay.
We know that the scale-up architecture is PCIe.
Yes.
So they're not using UA-Link or NVLink or anything like that. And that the scale-out is Ethernet, whether that's Ethernet, just standard Ethernet or Ultra Ethernet, they didn't specify.
Or eSUN or,
And the AI200 is due in 2026, with the AI250 following in 2027.
And a generation after that in 2028. And the CPUs in these systems will be Orion-based.
For 200?
There will be CPUs that are Orion-based somewhere in this system. They may be in the AI200 themselves.
Interesting.
So, yes. And at the bottom of my email, giving me this slide deck, they said, we will not be answering questions. So, there has been a lot of criticism with Qualcomm about this, and unfortunately, Qualcomm delivered it in a very Qualcomm way. As in, this is what we're going to tell you, don't ask questions. And so they say, this is hexagon NPU. The previous generation AI100 was also hexagon NPU. But the question is, which generation hexagon NPU? What's the architecture here?
Well,
one of the biggest criticisms was how many flops.
Well, not even that. Here's the number one question. Is it still 32-bit pointers, yes or no? Because
I don't think my investor friends on Wall Street are asking that question, George.
Well, no. But okay. Okay, let me reframe it for them. Can it access all of the memory?
Again, we don't know which version of hexagon this is.
I suspect with this much RAM that it will in fact support 64-bit virtual addressing. It would be insane if it didn't. I'm pretty sure that it will, but like
so we're assuming this is new silicon.
Yes. I have to be assuming that, because otherwise
it would be really weird. Hexagon, when it's used in a smartphone, when it's used in a notebook, does both convolutional neural network and transformer models, right? It's a multimodal platform. It's designed to do both with scalar, vector, and matrix engines, right? It's being used in this instance mostly for tokens. So
tokens.
Mushroom. But the thing is this hexagon NPU going to be a variant where they take out the stuff that doesn't do CNN, the stuff that does CNNs, and fit in more transformer compute? We've seen other companies trying to scale up their mobile part into a desktop discrete data center part before. Software doesn't go that well. Not everything scales linearly. Does anyone have confidence that Qualcomm will do this? And annoyingly, even as an analyst, I understand there was a briefing. I was not invited to it. When I asked for the recording, they said it wasn't recorded. So I don't know which questions have been asked. I don't know what, they're not willing to put anything else on the record. And much like the Orion announcement they did earlier in the year, everybody is saying WTF. And I don't know if this is my brain falls into two regions as to why this is the approach they've taken to announcing this stuff. One is they're hiding something, and that's what most people, I believe, are thinking. Two,
So
the second one is that this is just how Qualcomm's PR does stuff.
Okay,
and
so
this is how Qualcomm's PR has done stuff for years.
The thing is that we know somebody
in consumer.
Well, they've never really tried, like, they've attempted data center, but it's always been...
Well, again, yeah, no. So that's the other point I've said to people. Most companies, when we deal with them, they have a consumer marketing team and a enterprise marketing team. Qualcomm does not have an enterprise marketing team. If this is an enterprise product, they need an enterprise marketing team. They have an automotive marketing team. Are we playing show and tell?
Well, this is relevant to Qualcomm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me too. This is the data center chip that they didn't sell.
Well, they at least shipped these. This is the 2400 Centric 2400. There's apparently a 3600.
Corellium got them.
Yes,
basically. So yeah. Don't get me wrong. If Qualcomm have done something here that's amazing and innovative, that they should be shouting from the rooftops, I want them to.
Yeah.
I just fear that if they have that, they won't do that because they don't know how to do it anymore.
Well, here's the thing that's getting me. Scale up is PCIe. You want to know what other systems have scale up with PCIe?
AI100, and any PCIe device that's about 100 to 75 watts in scale. So think companies like Deepex, those who do edge inference, or first generation
this
Gaudi.
Technically has PCIe scale up.
Oh,
by some definition of that, I like potentially it could just be 8 PCIe cards. Yeah, that's MT. For you who don't know, that's MTIA, which was Meta's or is Meta's
recommendation engine accelerator.
Yeah. So
if it's designed for high user count, 7 to 70 billion parameter model inference, it's fine. Or if it's for prefill. Because you know what else is PCIe connected? Rubin CPX.
Yeah.
So if this is the prefill accelerator for prefill decode disaggregation in AI, which is the new big thing everybody's talking about, this makes sense. Guess what business AI100 already has?
That very market.
Yeah. There was an announcement a year and a half ago, maybe even 2 years ago now, because I remember speaking to Andrew Feldman about this, where they did a partnership in Saudi with Cerebras for a customer. Where they used
G42.
I believe that was one of the G42 announcements. Yeah. So it was Qualcomm AI100 prefill because and then you had Cerebras as the decode because of the high memory bandwidth.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a contract I need to renew.
Mm.
And Qualcomm Enterprise, it's just one Qualcomm. So
Yeah.
there is no separate divisions on that.
So actually, technically it's not on the list, but do you want to talk about Next Silicon?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me fire up let me at least put the YouTube video up on screen, but you start on this. For full disclosure, Next Silicon is a client of mine, and I help them with this.
Yes. They even used one of your quotes. Excuse me a moment while I pull up the PDF so that I can talk through it. I thought I sent you the PDF. Can you not pull it up?
You did. I'm gonna have to find it though. So let's. I'll just go through that. Let's go to big. Okay.
So,
Next Silicon, who are they?
Well, they pay you, so why don't you explain who Next Silicon is?
Okay. Next Silicon is a startup who are building what they call the ICA, the Intelligent Compute Architecture chip, which is the first attempt at proper data center reconfigurable data flow architecture. That's a mouthful. What does that mean? Data flow is an architecture where your ALUs are chained together, and each ALU has a very specific purpose. It might be an add, it might be a shift, it might be a carry, it might be something else. What a reconfigurable data flow processor does is you can change the operations of each element of the data flow architecture in real time. And what they've designed is a chip that we've done videos on this on both of our channels. It's a chip that changes the paradigm where a CPU or a GPU may only use 2 to 5% of the silicon for doing actual mathematics. By using their data flow architecture, they're upping that to around 80. I don't think they actually gave a number, but it's significantly higher, with the idea being that with any type of mathematical operation, if you can map it as a graph, and then you can map it to data flow and extract performance and parallelism. Their chip is designed that as you run software through it over and over and over and over again, or even the same kernel with a big loop, because they're targeting HPC workloads, and HPC typically has large, big loops. You can put most of the hardware to focus on the loop rather than being fixed with only the hardware that does loops. It's imagine a modern processor that just has a 256-bit AVX unit, and then you get another core that has 4, then another core that has 8. Well, imagine if all cores could do AVX, and you can just have 99% of them doing the AVX, and then the serial code happens on the other 1%. Their focus for this product, Maverick 2, is high performance computing. So they're going down the route where their hardware has 64-bit mathematical operations. When you have like a 64-bit multiplier, if you're doing AI, you could replace it with 256 8-bit multipliers. So there's an area and performance trade-off. Nobody has successfully done data flow in the data center, mostly because most data flow processors, you have to set the data flow at runtime, and it's fixed. The patents they have is that reconfigurability. So it almost sounds like an FPGA, but you can do it on the fly, as in the change in the data flow operations in their ALUs can happen in nanoseconds. So SolidRack says something like an FP-ASIC-A. So it's not like an FPGA at all. It's more like a compute engine. But the way they do it makes them be able to extract the performance and efficiency of data flow without the overhead of big prefetch units or decode units. Or
so
the other thing is also you can compile CUDA to it, and PyTorch and TensorFlow. There's a little stage in there where they have a script that puts in some of their monitoring code so that they can optimize the code as it runs. But the idea is you don't need to change your code. They'll change it for you.
So I'm more pessimistic about this.
It sounds like a lot.
Well, okay. I don't know if they show. If you'll,
They only have one big customer with Sandia National Labs. It's going in one of their supercomputers.
The thing is that Sandia oftentimes will just grab anything that looks interesting. That's sort of Sandia's job.
This is a substantial number of racks on a dedicated supercomputer for the top 500.
Yeah, I mean they've done that before.
Let's see. Yeah, so ICA. It's the intelligent compute architecture. This video will put links in. Goes through it. The first bit showcases the concept. The second half is the architecture.
There's a slide. Let's see if they get to it. Okay, this drives me up a wall, but you know what? I'll just reshare this PDF with you so that you can just pull up the PDF.
I've got it. Let me. It's Control J for downloads, isn't it? This one.
Yes. If you could go to slide 3. Yeah, this slide just complete nonsense.
What do you mean?
Complete nonsense.
What do you mean?
Are you really telling me that we have not
talk us through it.
So my dishes would stop falling. So this slide starts on the left in 1970s with Intel CPUs. They go through the 4004 to the 8086 to the Pentium. And that was the quote-unquote serial era. And then they just have a line that goes straight, that tapers off. No performance per watt improvement in 35 years, according to Next Silicon.
Oh, cool.
Well, one, we've moved on from single core CPUs to many core CPUs in that time. And we've improved our performance per watt significantly in those 35 years.
By orders of magnitude?
And then we move on to the GPU line, where you start back in the 2000s with the original GeForce, and then up until Maxwell, and then at Volta, no more performance per watt, which again is wrong.
For 64-bit operations?
It's still wrong. Like, Ampere was significantly better than Volta. Hopper was better than Ampere. Yes, Blackwell was, in most regards, is probably a roughly Hopper in terms of performance per watt.
It's I'm seeing competitive analysis from Nvidia's main competitors, asking where the efficiency improvements are coming from, because when they do their competitive analysis, from Hopper to Blackwell to Rubin, the performance gain is just coming at the expense of power and die area. I mean, if you go from 8-bit to 4-bit, sure, but you're doing less per operation anyway. So
sure, but like,
surely the proof is actually in the product, not in this guff.
Sure, but like this already sets a tone that I'm not particularly fond of.
Now, did you see this first, or did you see the video first?
I saw this first.
Okay, most people I know saw the video first.
I saw this first. Now, if you scroll down to slide 11, that third point. This is sorry. Third point in the next silicon breakthrough, the drop and replace. Yep. Yes, this is technically correct, in that there is
the best type of correct.
In that there is an LLVM backend. You will have to recompile, but technically you don't have to change anything about your code.
Mm-hmm.
However, the big caveat is, if you're running code that is not very parallelizable, so like CPU code, like serial code, the compiler is not just going to pull ILP out of it.
So the thing is, I think it's because this and Tachyum came at a very similar time. This is not trying to be everything to everyone, right? They're targeting this chip at HPC. HPC doesn't have a lot of serial code. It has some, sure.
A lot of HPC code is serial. That's why MI3. That's why MI300C exists.
No, but it's serial, but you parallelize over the domain, right? And this is part of the argument later on. You run concurrent kernels, or you run concurrent starting points. It's like a Monte Carlo chain, right?
Okay.
Each Monte Carlo chain is independent, but you're still running with multiple starting points. It's the same with molecular dynamics.
Yes, but okay.
The goal here is from the CEO.
For example,
this hardware tackles the most difficult coding problems first.
So, okay.
Does this have the images that I'm hoping?
Well, also, slide 12 just makes me want to tear my hair out, but...
right, so... is it here? Oh, and here's a CPU to actually run serial code if you really want.
Yeah, that's a test. I'll talk about that in a little.
But we'll get into this in a second. Yep. Okay. So the point here is, if this is your code, and these are the instructions it's mapped to, this is how you multiply out the compute blocks, right? So this is how you get 8 times the performance. The thing, and so during one set of cycles, you're doing this operation. During another set of cycles, you're doing this operation. During another set of cycles, you're doing this operation. And because we've kind of skipped over it, what this means is, imagine this bit of code, very serial, right? It has some instruction level parallelism in place. But if you were to do a graph of these operations, it would look like this. Now, some of them are bit shifts, some of them are compares, some of them are ands and ors. change that graph into a data flow, and it would look something like this. If you mapped it physically to the same as this, this graph here. Now, the thing is, you can move all of that to the left and put it together and make it dense. Now, this might be one function. You might have another function and another function. And the idea is that you can pile them all in together. Or if you have long code, you can go over multiple compute blocks. And that's the whole point of this. That's when you see these diagrams of graphs. It creates these, they're calling it mill cores. And the idea is that when you have branches and stuff, you can account for that because it will change how much of the hardware is available to take those branches, and or how much is for parallel compute. That's the that's the marketing material. And even say single thread performance isn't great, even compared to a GPU.
Yeah, like,
so don't consider it a single threaded serial.
But my point is, they're saying no code modification.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's technically true. The second you have any serial code, that falls apart.
No. It just gets allocated to a different.
No, it falls apart. And then
no, it just gets allocated to a different device. Again, at what point do you have so much serial code you can't extract any ILP out of it?
But it's not that you can't extract zero out of it. It's that you're not filling this thing. This thing is massive. This thing's going to be even harder to fill than a GPU.
But
like this is not
pretty much all of the HP codes I've ever worked on, right? You're issuing a thread block with 1 billion threads, right?
Sure.
Inside each thread, it's very serial, right? Or they may be fully independent. Sometimes there's some memory crosstalk, between groups of threads, between groups of warps.
Uh-huh.
I'm not sitting there doing my molecular dynamics in single thread mode.
No.
Right?
Well,
if I am
in today's age.
If I am, right, I've got this atom whose initial position XY is 3.2, 3.2. But then I'm going to run it again where the initial condition is 3.2, 3.3. Then I'm going to run it again where the initial condition is 3.2, 3.4. My search space has search space parallelism, regardless.
Sure.
Do I run 100,000 of those simulations linearly, or can I put them all together on a big chip and run them concurrently?
Well, the issue then is, okay, your code size. You now have a massive code, and now try mapping that code to this.
Yeah, and that's where it maps across multiple. That's where it maps across multiple compute cores, or if you need it, multiple chips.
But okay, the second you start going to multiple chips, again, this whole thing falls apart. The second you have to start going to other chips.
No, because you're doing data flow. You're not doing mass bulk. It's more like a transmit receive. So okay. Take this, right? Imagine my code is more than 14 instructions deep.
Mm-hmm.
What happens, right? So it gets down. It's down to the bottom. Or it starts at the bottom here. Thread run goes all the way up to the top, right? Can you see my mouse?
Yes.
Is my mouse visible? Yeah. And then it will come back up the other up here, and then keep going back up. And then keep going back up. And then so we can have multiple threads going up and down the core. Now, these aren't 14 deep. These are hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands, if not 100,000 deep, right? And even then, even if that was the case, here there's an example here of one that's only 4 deep, right? The idea of having it reconfigurable is if this thread 1 is complete and then the data moves to thread 2, thread 1 can reconfigure for the next pass.
So, but okay, you're saying that these are thousands of threads deep. Okay, now fill that. Well,
no, because the thread is just a concurrent amounts of data passing through.
Okay,
the depth of the program. So many programs are more than 1,000 instructions.
Sure, but okay, in GPU land, right, we have this concept known as a wave, right? The number of instructions that you issue in a cycle, right?
Yeah, and that's because it's a SIMD engine. It's a parallel set of serial programs. It's not a parallel program.
Yes, but still the same thing applies here.
No, so there, that limitation there isn't on depth of program. It's on memory capacity. Right?
No.
Do you want me to bring out my programs I did for my PhD?
The wave size doesn't have to do with the memory.
No, I'm not talking the wave size. I'm talking about the code length for the wave.
Sure.
Right? I could run a wave till the end of time if I don't need if I don't need more than the register memory I've got allocated to it.
But in a GPU, you're going to be limited to the register file in the GPU.
Yeah, and that's code related, but that's the limitation there.
Sure,
you're not saying that's the limitation.
Well understood. That's a well understood limitation.
But the limitation
there. Why data flow hasn't worked is because of this. Okay. The reason why data flow hasn't worked before, is because nobody solved reconfigurability. Okay, let's take a simple matmul kernel.
Mm-hmm.
What's in a simple matmul kernel is 2 loads, an FMA, and a store.
Mm-hmm.
Very easy, very simple to map to many units.
Mm-hmm.
But then what happens when you have 100 loads and say 1,000 FMAs and 3 stores, right? Because you're working through that hot loop and you end up with just 3 values at the end. Like code like that, actually trying to map that to the hardware is incredibly complicated. And you're going to need a very, very smart compiler.
So
this is the same issue that this ran into.
So a warp, right? 32 threads. You've got 1,000 registers between those 32 threads for active data management and access to 32 kilobytes of shared memory per SM. But an SM has access to how many ALUs? So they've all got to share it, and that's where your share synchronization points are. But the argument...
You issue 32 instructions to 32 ALUs.
No, you issue 1 instruction to 32 ALUs.
Well,
because it's a warp. You do the same operation on all 32. Group. Yeah, but you only submit 1 instruction to the group. Because that's how a warp works, right?
Yeah.
I think the confusion is you're either conflating or equating program length in terms of number of instructions with the memory required per kernel.
No, I'm thinking about it as how do you map this to the hardware?
It does it for you.
Yeah, no, that's not how that works.
That they know the hardware better than you.
That's now saying magic compiler syndrome.
Magic compiler if it was an out of order architecture. This isn't.
No, this was not an out of order architecture.
No, it was a VLIW. It's like a DSP, right?
This is very similar to a DSP.
Right. That relies on having very specific instructions in a very specific order, but that wasn't reconfigurable in the way that if you had a reconfigurable DSP, And
those exist,
right? Going back to the 1 instruction per 32 threads, right? Here, you can allocate 32 different instructions to 32 different threads.
Okay.
It's MIMD.
So is the CPU, but the CPU has the implicit idea of MIMD.
This has a data flow idea of MIMD.
Yes, but the thing with the CPU is that you don't need to. The CPU does not need to expose that per se.
Well, neither do they. You bring your own code.
I just don't see that working well. That's how it falls apart, in my opinion.
This is why you take the code at compile time, you build a graph, you map the graph to the mill core under the data flow engine, right? And then with all the different hooks you've put in to monitor register usage, to monitor parallelism, to monitor optimizations, over time, how you do the reconfigurable data flow as the program is running on a cycle-by-cycle basis, right? That's where you get the benefits therein of slowly over time optimizing the code. And in certain circumstances, based on some of the data they've got, this can take as little as 10 seconds to hit an optimal point.
So, okay. Go to page 26, because I did some math on the numbers that they provided. So I don't have any sort of relative comparison point for the giga updates per second or page rank. But, and you could, I'm not going to argue this here, but you could, and you would be right. Stream is
stream.
Never actually going to get 100% of the memory bandwidth ever.
Yeah.
But HPCG, that's a benchmark I know fairly well. They're claiming 600 gigaflops at 750 watts, which sounds really good.
It's now, twice as,
So something you need to know about HPCG is that it doesn't scale well. So actually trying to scale HPCG to many nodes, it's not linear. It's far from linear. From what I know, 50% is actually being generous with HPCG scaling across many nodes. Okay.
Even if that,
they're saying 600 gigaflops at 750 watts, right? Now, I did some math. El Capitan scores about
0.58 gigaflops per watt,
Hold on, let me finish.
Sorry, I've done the math too.
Yeah, so El Capitan, as it stands, the full 44,544 APU system with all of the power and all of the cooling. Now, let's say that the APUs are running at 550 watts, which would bring up the APU power to about 24.5 megawatts of the 29.5 megawatts of El Cap. That's pretty reasonable. So about 80% of the total power of the system is being used by the APUs. Great. El Capitan scores about 17,400 petaflops on HPCG. That is about 390 gigaflops at 550 watts. Now, that does, within that system, yes, in theory, in order to match that performance, you would need approximately 29,000 Maverick 2s, which ends up being about 21.5 megawatts. However, that's using perfectly linear scaling.
Wait, are you using 300A on this?
Yes, I'm using El Cap. I'm saying El Capitan's numbers.
Okay, that's not a leading GPU.
Great, that's what's leading in the HPC space. That's the number one supercomputer right now.
Okay. You're looking for a new supercomputer. Go buy it. AMD
MI300A. That's what's available.
AMD won't sell it to you.
You can go get it from Gigabyte. You can go get it from HPE. You can go get it from Supermicro.
And they'll build you a 30 megawatt system?
If you pay enough.
No, they can't get the hardware.
Okay, MI 430 or heck, MI 300X, just standard off the shelf 300X at 550 watts.
Yep.
Right? You're going to get similar numbers to MI 300A because it's effectively a 300A for all intents and purposes at a higher power limit. Great, irrelevant. Like you lower the power limit to 550. Your individual MI 300As in LCAP are doing 390. MI 300X is probably going to do something roughly similar. Great. Okay. Now try scaling. You do the 50%. The numbers fall apart, is my point. And I'm not even factoring in anything like the CPU power, the memory power for the CPUs, the NICs, the switches, the cooling. It falls apart.
You know the best way to sort this out?
Get one?
Get one.
Yeah.
Just one. And now you could argue that what Next Silicon have done here is taken the TDP, not load power, right?
Sure.
And if you want to go prove them wrong, that's the best way to do it. And I'm sure Hot Isle.
But it just, and then the RISC-V chip, they're claiming is a leap ahead core. But looking at it, some of the structures in here are smaller than I would expect for a quote unquote leap ahead core.
You're talking about the reorder buffer being about half the size, the L2 cache being half the size.
I'm talking about the branch predictor, or specifically the B2B cache, or B2B size being 4K, which for context is a fourth of Zen 5. And the latency absorbing structures in terms of the cache misses, it's only 64 for the L2. For the record, Zen 5's is 104. And Lion Cove, I believe, is either 80 or 96. And this is only clocking to 2.5 gigahertz.
The minute you clock down, sometimes the demands are lesser.
In this case, it wouldn't be because it's your branch predictor. It's your branch predictor and it's your cache miss buffers.
Depends what sort of code is actually being run. It's, part of the reason why this is so, for those of you who weren't following, after all of that, they announced a RISC-V test chip, with a new core they're calling Arbel. Now, technically, their Maverick 2 here has some Arbel cores in it, apparently. That's what I'm on the what my impression is. But this is their test chip. Are they saying how many cores are in it? No, they aren't.
No.
All they're saying is it's TSMC 5nm and it's their own custom core, and they've built it as an enterprise grade RISC-V core. But part of the reason is this is what some customers want, though their exact go-to-market strategy is still being configured. And we've got some of the component stuff here, and this is what the thing looks like. It's
solid reactor. This is a CPU core, not Maverick.
Yeah, this is the CPU. This is a CPU part. So whether this will be the host node CPU accelerator compared to AMD and Nvidia, this might also cover next generation Maverick 3. And the idea is it's got to be at least a little bit in lockstep with the Maverick accelerators. Heck, even if it's within spitting distance of a modern AMD and Intel core, they've got it taped out and it's working, which is more than what some other companies have done.
Sure.
You just don't like the fact that they've compared it to Zen 5.
Yes, Zen 5 or Lion Code. Like it's
right. If you take out that line,
it's fine. Like most of what I have issue with here is the marketing. Like it feels like you're trying to market this to VCs and it's not an actual disclosure. Like parts of it are well done, other parts just feel it's frustrating.
The base card is 32 RISC-V cores.
Yeah, they don't say.
Oh no, this CPU says external.
Okay. Yeah, what that means is it's like tends toward black hole, where the cores are essentially the control units for the rest of the system.
Yeah. So, oh well. Next Silicon had an announcement.
Also, do you notice the error in that slide?
Not using capital H for gigahertz?
Nope. Well, yes, but that's not the one that immediately stuck out to me.
It's
on the right. It's the right side.
Integer physical register file, integer physical register file.
Yeah, the bottom one should be vector.
Well, I mean, it's got the numbers here, right? So
yeah.
I mean, to be honest, this is a lot more information than other companies have given.
Yes.
So
the only comparable numbers we've had are companies that presented at Hot Chips.
Yeah, I mean, we don't know much about Veyron 3 yet, do we?
No.
For example,
V3. We know that it is actually, hold on. Did I have my notebook? I don't have my notebook here. It's somewhere. It's something like 5 integer ALUs, 3 AGUs, 5 512-bit vector sets matrix pipes, and they're claiming 24 teraflops per core, if I remember correctly, of FP8.
Just to address this point here, the thing is put on getting shouty and condescending on stream is not a good look, just saying. This is why I like working with George. Because we can test each other, right, on the specific points that focus on us. We rarely get that animated about stuff, right? I mean, to a certain extent, it was because I was introduced as, hey, you work with this company, you say stuff. So I kind of feel like I have to defend a little bit, even if it's a little bit of devil's advocate, right? George has some really good questions. And sometimes to certain engineers, they'd be blurring him in the face. We're not chip engineers. So we're doing this all through aggressive models from seeing so many of these designs. You know, it's we're not trying to be condescending or shouty. We're trying to be passionate and open to a little bit of debate and just making sure that we're both seeing everything from the same direction, even if we disagree with what the output might be or what it says. And yeah, it may mean doing more research. It may mean going back to these guys with questions. There's a lot to do here.
It says, why am I so pessimistic? Here's what the thing is I see where this is going to trip and fall over its own feet because we've seen it before. However, I'm talking about it in the HPC perspective.
Hmm.
A place where this could actually do very, 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 very well is go back 30 minutes when we were talking about DPUs, networking. This is actually potentially a really, really interesting network chip from that perspective as like a DPU or a SmartNIC, because data flow maps very, very well to that workload. But general HPC code, personally, I don't see it.
George has to see it working live to believe that it actually works how it says it does.
Because we've seen these claims before. Right? We've seen companies say, "Oh, we're yeah, it's
we've seen these claims before."
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I don't know if you saw what this book is.
Titanium Rising, yeah.
This is essentially a marketing book written by HP. It's a hilarious read. It is
HP being the only company who actually sold titanium.
Yes, but no, this was written by the director of marketing for Hewlett Packard Company's Intel processor family based systems. So it's very funny. This is a great read, by the way.
Is the guy actually an engineer?
No, but one of the Jerry Hick was actually led the architectural work on HP side as HP's chief architect for their part in Titanium. But this is a great book if you've never read it. Chris Jackson in the chat has read it, and it is it's quite funny.
Speaking of show and tell, I have.
Oh, I want one.
I have dead silicon.
Oh,
well, I mean, no. It probably does work. Oh no, sorry. These may be the mechanical samples. I'm not sure. No, the company's dead. Yeah,
well, it's weird. Oh, speaking of, okay, I added a new thing in the so slight change. No, but do you remember Esperanto?
Esperanto, yes.
Yes. They apparently are continuing on. They now live at the IP was bought by a company known as AI200.
Right.
And it is they are claiming that all of the RTL will be open sourced. And it will be completely open source. AINEKKO.
That sounds like a meme.
Yes. I did add this to the doc.
Yeah, I'm seeing the HPC wire. Again, yeah. Are you human?
Sometimes I think not.
Oh, and the logo's memey as well.
Yes, it's just memes. But the thing here is, if they do actually release all of the RTL, that would be really interesting to see.
Oh, they announced it because they were at the RISC-V summit.
Yes.
And the AI Plumbers Conference. What? What happened?
Oh,
is this where we are now?
Yes. Yes, it is. This is where this is how far we've fallen. But
So that's Hank Schrader from Breaking Bad.
Oh my god! I got an email from Allison Bob's.
Yeah, I did too.
Yeah, I laughed.
Oh, the cat qubits.
Yes, feels quite appropriate considering this website.
So the Alice and Bob cat qubits, they pinged me about that like a year and a half ago. I sent a bunch of questions, got no response.
Mm.
I would say it's because they're French, but I have French companies who respond to me.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna say they have a branding team with an imagination. And at least that's something, I guess.
Yeah.
Let's see. IP paperclip project. Right. Okay. This is the CEO. And I just want to highlight one of her positions was as the Cost Ass co-founder.
Wait. It's not. Were you able to just click? Because
maybe sorry. Yeah. Oh yeah, you can't see. Yeah. Let's go to that one. Yeah.
There we go. Oh my god. That's very funny. I wonder if they knew what they were doing.
Actually, crunchbase.com. And let's go to AI websites that take away the carrot. They are still a seed funded. Oh dear. Right. You're an AI company. You raise $100 million. You develop a chip, and then suddenly you go bust. How much is that AI worth? Sorry, how much is that IP worth? Because AI Neko has raised $2.2 million.
That seems low.
So it means whatever they've paid is pennies.
I just sent you the slides that they provided. Thank you, OJ002, for linking them.
Yeah. ML frameworks are supposed to provide RISC, not CISC ops. Quantization integers are not just for storage. We will make info great again. Transputers are finally fashionable. So they basically want to do what Peasy does.
Kind of. Oh no.
That's
okay. I knew where I had heard RISC, not CISC before.
Well, that's just a common phrase.
In the AI framework space, there's one company that's been touting that, and it's TinyGrad.
Okay. So they're going to fully open source all of the design. They already have the old SoCs, but it looks like they're going to make new ones as AI Foundry, as part of AI Foundry. They're going to do they're doing zero ASIC work. So this is taking the IP, going through a full ecosystem to build it. They're saying they've already got chips, but it's just the old Esperanto stuff. Taped out 4 years ago, still on par with inference performance. Okay. I'm gonna speak with Sally about that tomorrow then. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Yeah. If Jay says chips are available or available, yeah, that should go on a t-shirt.
Yeah.
Then send me one. Do I really think TinyGrad are going to want this?
That's not what I was.
Do I really think George Hotz would put time and effort into working on a 4-year-old ASIC from a startup, even if it was
Probably
open source?
Not.
Is there any other news we want to get to today?
I think we covered everything critical.
Two small things, I guess. There's this company called Substrate. If we go to
yes.
big one. Substrate. A company that seems to believe that they can change Foundry by harnessing X-rays. So for those of you who haven't followed much in the way of manufacturing, we're currently in the EUV era, extreme ultraviolet lithography. It's where it sits in the wavelength frequency scale. We used to use DUV, deep ultraviolet, and so extreme ultraviolet is just further down. In the 1980s, it used to be called soft X-rays. Unfortunately, X-rays have too many connotations of bad things, like the Hulk, or is that gamma rays, whatever. The problem with EUV, or the way it is, in order to put a pattern onto a chip like that, you create EUV light at 13.5 nanometer in a very complex way. Then this has to interact with the photoresist on the silicon. The problem is the photons have to have a specific energy, and there's also stochastic random noise because they're photons. But if you do too many, then you don't get the pattern you want because of stochastic noise. If you do too few, then you don't have the pattern you need in silicon. So it's this delicate balance, and it's always it's also, if you go beyond 13.5 nanometer to say 8.7 nanometer, you don't actually interact with the photoresists enough, or you don't get the mask effects enough in the design to actually make it work. So it's been widely considered that 13.5 nanometer EUV is kind of the limit, and then after that we've really got to play with optics, because after that you're fighting a sense of stochastics, and literally you can only have so many photons hit a certain area of photoresist to make stuff happen. What Substrate are doing, based on my cursory look of this, is that they want to go beyond that. They want to literally use X-ray lithography. Their accelerators and power beams generate light billions of times brighter than the sun, which is a metric if you're reporting in a broadsheet. To give a sense here, a standard EUV machine uses about, I want to say, 50 kilowatts of CO2 lasers to generate 600 watts of EUV, right? Or it's maybe this then. You can't. The higher you go, the more you have to do stuff to protect your mirrors and your lenses and your masks from degrading. And eventually you get down to millijoules per square centimeter of photons that actually hit your silicon, hit your photoresist. A modern processor with the EUV at the lowest uses around 30 to 40 millijoules per square centimeter. In some cases, you might see 80 to 90, but that's when you're really trying to push the boundary of it definitely does work, and we're giving it enough room to work. It's there. I believe what they're trying to say here is we have found a way to make our X-rays thousands of watts. George, would you like a 1,000-watt X-ray?
Anywhere like nearby persons? No.
You'll need about that much of lead.
Yeah. But the thing is that unreasonable for a big old system that gets installed once?
But that's the thing. X-rays interact with matter so infrequently. You need high power to work.
Yes.
But then you again, you've got statistical models of how much interaction. Do you want it to interact with this silicon atom here, or this one here, or this one here, or this one here? It's more than just creating light. It's also creating the material that interacts, with the X-rays.
So I believe that the image on the right. So if you go up, up one more, that one is actually one that they created.
That doesn't
because
look
random logic array of 12 nanometer critical dimensions and 13 tip to tip. Yeah. That's not that's like assuming that that's actually accurate. Really impressive.
Well, so high NA right now can do 10 to 8
for critical dimensions.
Yep.
I thought we were still in the 30 range.
No, that's for.
Oh no, that's low NA, isn't it?
Yeah. No. So low NA can get down to teens, but you need something that's repeatable, regular. If I look at this diagram, a lot of these edges aren't clean. A lot of these endpoints aren't round, right?
No.
So when, for example, I was at Intel when ASML sent them a high NA wafer of the first 10 nanometer lines that they were able to do, but the lines on that were almost perfect. But also on top of that, there are ways to get these features a lot more perfect. Applied Materials has a tool called the Sculptor that helps with a lot of this, for example. So it's not just doing critical dimensions, it's also getting them done well and repeatable and over again. There's no point doing this once if you then have to go for 10 hours of downtime.
Yes.
Or if you're going to do one wafer an hour.
Hence why I said if they could actually do this at scale, big F, massive F.
You know what really bums me about this marketing crap? In the same way that you got bummed out by some of Next Silicon stuff. It's this.
Oh, yeah.
They're saying that their solution is the only way for the US to return to dominance in semiconductor production with a new type of vertical integrated foundry using X-rays. And it's like, no, there's an ecosystem here. Yeah, it reminds me of a company I spoke to that said, well, in 3 years we're going to be bigger than Apple.
Huh.
I'm like, dude, you've raised 1.2 million in 7 years.
Excuse me while I go, like, okay. One.
Oh, well, we can do 1 billion wafers per year. Yeah, that's just a question of how many tools. If you said 1 billion wafers per year for $1 million, right? Oh, and here's the price of a wafer. At Substrate, we have a pathway to reduce the cost. Okay, but where do you sit? Substrate will produce
Yeah.
wafers close to 10,000. Yeah, but is it going to be in 27, 28, 29? Or are you talking about in 2040 when you have to scale out to produce gigafabs?
Yeah. Like
This is what happens when startups don't understand that just putting we stand on the shoulders of American
like,
giants
this
who
is
built this
horse.
industry.
Complete horse. And
This isn't
and-
circle jerk territory. It's let me deep throat my neighbor territory.
I mean,
Seriously,
no, you're right.
ground yourself in being humble.
Scroll up.
Let the technology do the talking.
Scroll
Jesus
up
Christ!
Back to where you first highlighted. Up. It's up.
This one.
Yes. Okay. Here's something that I think we may have talked about before, but all of the EUV laser technology is done and has been developed here.
San Diego, Simon.
Well, not just yes. I mean, some of the parts for that laser is literally for the high NA lasers. I found this out not that long ago. Is literally made within walking distance of my house at Coherent. There are parts of that laser literally made right over there. Actually, technically, it's over there. Yeah, no, it is that way. I'm pointing the wrong way. That way. Like,
are any of the investors anybody I know?
Okay, there is one. Scroll up. Go to Founders Fund. If you just click, yep. And you go to the 3 bars up on top right.
The hamburger.
And you go to team, and then you look at the first person on the left. Yep. Does that now explain the marketing?
No, because he's too far removed.
True, but
no, it's no. Where's the? Who are the people?
Oh wait, do they not have like a people? What?
Korea's at Substrate. Oh, that just looks like a lab. Well, they're in San Francisco. I'm not going to be able to go to IEDM. I'm going to have to go shout at people. Yeah, there's nobody here. Am I blind?
Wait, what crazy conspiracy theories? What? Yeah. Actually, check Crunchbase, see what they've raised. That's a good idea.
I mean, to call your company Substrate and then talk about
Silicon is.
Wait, platform for compound AI. Is this the right one?
Is the logo correct?
No.
Then probably not. Yeah. Also, your SEO, like, you're completely irrelevant to the actual product. Your SEO for this, like, is gonna be bad.
Yeah, private Series A. 100 mil.
Okay.
Yesterday.
Okay, so who was funding it before?
It says they're up to 250 people. I mean, these are investors. It's not showing any executives or.
Okay, Either this is some weird DoD/DOE project.
Oh, sorry. I realized that while I'm on Crunchbase, I'm not actually showing you anything. So founded in 21, private, Series A, 100 to 250 people. October 28th.
No, $100 million is pennies, Jay.
For some, yeah. Hubtags unicorn. Financials, yeah. Investors 6. No profiles and contacts for the company. So in the UK, we have something called Company's House. I can go to a company and see who the directors are. What's the equivalent in the US?
I don't know, but there should be. Who's on? Is this a California registered company?
Yeah.
Check the California Secretary of State website. Hold on.
Jay says, is this what goes in FINRA?
It might. I don't know. I know how to get this information for nonprofits.
Yeah.
But I don't.
FINRA doesn't just have a search of companies. Is this where I asked ChatGPT?
Maybe. I legitimately do not know.
Oh, it's decentralized. Yeah, Secretary of State Business Search.
Okay. Hold on.
Search by entity name or entity number. Substrate Arts, Substrate Capital Management, Substrate Capital Partners, Substrate Corporation, Substrate Development Inc. Cat. I have a cat in the way. Substrate Inc. Substrate Industries, Substrate International, Substrate Laboratory, Substrate LLC. Did the website have an exact name?
No, it's just Substrate.
Substrate Technologies Incorporated, technically in Delaware. That's terminated. Okay. I don't know.
Agent. That's not them.
Do they have a company code or something? Like an entity number?
It would be employee identification number.
It's because there are too many companies called Substrate.
Yeah.
Substrate grinding.
And
it also has a private who is. I found something called Texas. Is it Substrate Inc? 3 years, 7 months. I may have found somebody. Or I'm just randomly finding somebody else's company that they're called Substrate. Oh, yeah. No, private who is. Annoyingly, if you register a website and you don't want it to be, for example, if you don't have a business address and you don't want it tied to your personal address, you have it as a private who is. That's fairly normal. Yeah. Okay. I think I've had enough of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only way that this could make any sense is if this is in fact like a DOE, DOD company that is using like, which maybe explains some of the dodginess here. But that's the only like positive that this could be. Otherwise, this feels very
yeah,
BS, to put it lightly.
I don't like LinkedIn when you go to it, you go, oh, that's an interesting page. Oh, and then it's disappeared. Okay. Is that? Yeah, I found that. Somebody I know, somebody who actually follows me. I'm gonna have to go talk to them because it looks like I found the right people. Okay.
Oh, you found who it is? That'd be interesting to find out.
Somebody who I've interacted with before. So. All right, then. I think we're going to end it there. We're going for over 2.5 hours. A lot of it shouty, a lot of it interesting. Not necessarily in the same breath. It's fun. Cool. And yeah, so with that, let's call it a wrap. Many thanks to all of you who have been here from start to finish for yet another one of our tech routines. We really appreciate your support, and it helps us to continue what we love to do. And we hope you like talking about chips as well. All of our links are in the description below, and you can find more about us on our Twitter or our Discords. It's a goodbye from me.
And a fond farewell from me.
And we'll catch you on the next one, which may be next week. Woo! If you like this content, there are multiple ways to support the channel. You can like and subscribe this video, and many thanks for doing so. There's also a Patreon, which gives you access to our Discord. There's a merchandise store and a newsletter, links in the description. For all of you who do contribute, thank you. You are keeping me well fed.